All right. Let's give it a moment. Make sure all the audio is synced up. Okay, that seems good. Hey guys, Dante here, and welcome back to my channel, The Burger Thought, and welcome back to another Sunday night stream. And getting to this point has been a journey. So, first things first, I want to give a little shout out to Streamlabs, because they finally went ahead and created an audio library. So the music you are hearing right now is supposedly completely copyright free for Streamlabs and YouTube, which is a nice little touch. That's the first thing in order. Secondly, over on the top right, you'll notice a bit of a slideshow going on. That is the process, excuse me, that brought us to this point. And so let's go right into a walkthrough of what's going on. So on the side, you have as it circles through, you're going to see a close-up image of the sculpted face. You're going to see the original layout that was done during the molding process. That's the face spray painted gray with a kind of like a wooden structure around it, which I then layered with clay and then did the first half of this mold. The next image after that is the head flipped over, showing the back of the head and side A complete. But that is where the good stuff ended, because when I added the second side B of this mold, it's supposed to be a sandwich mold, there was a problem. Something, I guess, wasn't fully cured, or maybe I mixed it incorrectly, and what was supposed to be a two-part mold became one solid brick. And what you see here is the excavation. I knew which side was the back of the head, so I had to use a Dremel and a screwdriver as a chisel, and I chiseled out the back of the head and the back of the, for now we'll call them antennae, which is also in the image. So we lost about a little less than 1/3 of the sculpt. The face is good, the sides are good, but the back of the head was lost. So what do we do about that? Well, I went ahead and made a foam head. Like I cut a piece of foam roughly in the shape of the skull that was used for the understructure. And after doing several painted in layers, just really thin layers of latex to get all the fine detailings of the face and the little crevices, with an addition of cotton, because I've gotten to the habit of doing some thin layers of latex, let it dry, stick some cotton in it, and do over that to sandwich it between, because less latex makes it lighter, but the cotton fills it up. So that's a little back and forth I do. And after that was done, I took that foam head and I wrapped it in plastic. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but right there is the text on the back of a plastic bag. I basically wrapped up, excuse me, hold on. Ooh, so I got like a peanut stuck in my throat. As I was saying, right there, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a little bit of text. So essentially I took the foam skull, wrapped it in plastic, into a plastic bag, stuck it in there, and began painting latex around it. In fact, the bulk of the latex you see here is actually a castaway piece. In other words, like if you take latex and paint it on a piece of glass and peel it off, that was a big sheet I had. So I wrapped that around it, and I've just been adding latex layer after latex layer, a little bit of cotton here and there, latex layer. And the idea is we now have the back side of the head, and I will eventually cut it down the base, cut it down the back of the head, and remove that foam on the inside, and that will give us a hollow piece. Now, that's all about the face. Slightly off camera, you might be able to see right around here two other molds. These are for the wings. We'll go into that later on. Our main concern today is getting these antennae out, because right here I didn't chisel all. This isn't a straight down slot. As it gets about here, the plaster mold kind of juts out a bit, so you have a thin, narrow section. I was trying to keep as much of the mold as possible, so we might have some issues removing it. But that's enough preamble. Let's get into our prepping. So we're gonna go ahead using Club Gentleman, Club Man, because it's what I have on hand. Club Man is what you have on hand. And we're just gonna powder this up because I do not want this latex to stick to itself as I pull it out. So you wanna prep the mold, because latex will just love to stick to itself. And we're gonna get right into it. Let me see, where's one of my tools? Here we go. Random sculpting tool with a little bit of a spoon end to it. I'm also going to do this. I'm not ready for the Olympics. Okay. How about we start with the neck? Down at the bottom. I powder my hands so I could just touch it all around and get it all soft on the edges. So there's a lot of spillage on one side here. So we're just gonna take all that off too. Yeah, I tried day in and day out. Dang it, sorry. I tried day in and day out to split this mold. You can see the guidelines I did on the edges, and I chiseled and I was like, you know what, that's not gonna work. I went and cut straight down the middle, hoping I could pry it open, and by the time I did that cut, I realized the whole thing was just one giant block. So yeah, but we do what we can. So fun fact, the images that are right now playing in the slideshow on the side, they're all posted not on my Instagram but on my Twitter, because it's easier to make a thread on Twitter to like link to previous images. So I essentially made a continuous thread about this project on Twitter. So if you want to see the step-by-step with some commentary, check it out there. Now I'm debating if we should just cut this open and get... You know what? Yeah, let's cut this open. And let's get this freaking foam out. Be a lot easier to remove it when it's not a solid piece in our way. It's like brain surgery. And we can always... I plan to put hair on the back of this anyway, so I could just seal this back up if I had to. But let's get this guy out. Where's my garbage can? Ah, there it is. Ah, there we go. So there is our foam skull. There's our plastic bag that was used to separate it from the latex. And now I have more flex when it comes to removing this. There we go. Get that powder everywhere you can. Like I said, my only fear is the antennae. There we go. A little bit of the paint, not paint, there's a spray paint. As you can see, there's some of the gray of the spray paint. You know, because if spray paint sticks, it means that I didn't add enough release agent. Because you could prep the mold, prep the sculpture with plenty of spray paint and stuff like that, but sometimes you want to add a good amount of release agent like these release. Haha! There we go. Okay. So the antennae is off. Let me just throw some more powder in there just in case. Like I said, I did really thin layers at first. I want to get. Cause the issue is if you layer too quickly, if it's too thick and you layer, it doesn't dry. So I did really thin layers on the face first before I began like really sloshing it inside of there. Okay, what's caught right now is the chin. All right. Oh. All right. Look at that. Oh. You put some powder on it. Give me a second, guys. I'm filling the inside. Some of it still feels a little damp. The problem with using the cotton is that you would think the cotton will help it like absorb and dry better, but sometimes it doesn't. So this is not a perfect release, but it's usable, it's doable. Okay. Let me just tap some of this out. So there's our mold. There's our cast, of course. Yep. Go put him to the side, nice and careful. Stand by. Put this in the bottom that we don't crack the base of it. There's our boy. There's our boy. It's not perfect. What was meant to be a smooth area here came out really, it definitely stuck to itself a little bit. Because he had so many little nooks and crannies. Yeah, I'm touching right now on the inside. And I'm like touching cotton that's still like, it absorbed the latex but didn't dry it though. But that, look at that. I'm going to clean up the edges right now. Let's clean up those edges. Oh. Alright. So I'm just trying to get rid of some of the flashing on the edges. Make them a bit more presentable. So once again, we lost, I want to say, roughly 25% of it. Yeah, so it's not as perfect as I would have liked. I constantly fought between the idea of using the latex, which is an air dry material, which is why it takes so much time, or using a more high-end material like dragon skin. But dragon skin is so expensive for the amount you get. And maybe next time we'll use dragon skin. Maybe next time we'll use that. Because dragon skin is a type of like epoxy material. So, you don't have to air dry it. You just pour it in, and that's it. 45 minutes and you're good to go. So there's some details that didn't come out, such as the fact that this little nub here is supposed to have a nail at the end of it, but I just couldn't get the latex inside there to really show it. But that's okay, because maybe we could add like an actual like plastic material onto it and give it an actual nail. Same thing with the teeth. The teeth came out fine, but maybe we'll replace them with some. I have some resin teeth. But you know what? That is not bad. That is not bad, people. Look at that. I'm gonna remove this part here. So what we're gonna do today is get this guy out, clean him up, and then we'll go in. Now here it got a little squished. Like the details here definitely got a little squished and lost. You see how flat this is here? But we all I think it still looks pretty good. I mean, and because of the latex, I can just go. We're going to cut out the eyes. Give him some maybe some glass eyes or something like that. Well, we are going to go ahead and make a cut on the backside of his antennae. And we're going to put about from right here to right there on either side. We're going to go ahead and put a metal beam so they don't flex like this. Rather bend. So these are meant to be the arms of the wings that we're working on. And yeah. And I can also, once again, just stick a bunch of cotton inside. This time, dry cotton. And just to help fill it out so it's not too squishy like this. But yeah, pretty good. We do have an air bubble right there in the nose. That's stuff that we painted in. I put cotton in the eyebrows. I try to put cotton in like there's no cotton here and here, but there's cotton in the chin. There's cotton in the neck growths. These weird like bumps he has in his neck. I'm not happy there's like a lot of paint on him, like in the skin. I mean, that stuff can be scraped out. Yeah. Oh, that is. You know what? For a mold I had to chisel out. This guy came out really good. You know, it wasn't perfect. I might not just scraping as much of this paint off. Yeah, this little nub here, I could definitely just sculpt. I'll sculpt a little piece of plastic to make up a nail that sticks out here. Speaking of nails, I feel you. There you are. There's a staple right here. I used a staple to hold the foam in place. Is there a second one somewhere in here? There you are. Let me get these out before I actually hurt myself. Now latex sticks to latex, especially when it's wet. And the idea is, once I have the wings dried, and I'll show you, once again, I'll show you the wings in a bit, we will attach them to these antennae pieces. In fact, these wells here are perfect. I'm gonna put the metal beam I want to put right there and there, and then paint the latex on it. So, what's going on with the wings? First off, once again, on images on the side, you can see the sculpted wing, spray painted gray, and in a mold wall I made with like playing cards and duct tape. Then I poured the mold into it, and then I pull it out. So this is the right wing, and for this I used ease release right before I put it in. And I'm going to assume it's because of that, or maybe because it's so cold in my house right now, the clay was just so hard. It peeled out perfectly clean. Like all these little gray bits of spray paint that are on him, that's because it's in the mold. Here, the mold was like perfect. But there was a problem. Some of you may remember I built this in the live stream. This was meant to be the wireframe for the wings, right? But the metal is bending. So basically I'm gonna have to make a new wire that is gonna go. Where'd you come from? Get out of here. The new wire is just gonna go right across, make a bit of a U-ey, come down here. So it's a top frame, bottom frame, and that's it. I've already done 2 layers of latex on this. Painted latex. I painted it in a thin layer. After those layers dried, I then did another thin layer and stuck the cotton. Taking my time with this. Let that cotton really absorb and dry. Especially around the palm. Because the palm is big and fat. You know, I had to hold this in it. So I gotta do more and more layers. So I'm gonna basically just keep doing it. I'm just gonna paint layer, paint layer, paint layer. And then I'm going to bend a wire to go in there. Because I have to do this twice. This was the first pull. Look at that. That looks pretty good, right? This was the first pull, not for the right arm, for the left arm, which is the mold right over here off camera. So this is what it's going to look like. But once again, the wire I noticed ended up being loose. So I have no real control. It just kind of wobbles everywhere. And also, this is mostly all latex, so it's really heavy. But ideally, it's gonna go like this. And that's our connecting piece, like that. Big old weird, wrinkly bat wings. So I have to put this to the side. I am going to recycle these wires, these wire frames. They're pretty much like, you know, puppet rods. And now I'm working on the second one. I'm redoing, well, rather I'm reworking the first one. So this, once again, 2 layers, light paint, latex. Then I put some kind in it. Then I paint it, then I paint it. And whenever I tend to rush it, it doesn't dry. You notice all these little weird, like, wrinkly bits? That's me poking at it, because there were little pockets of latex, like balloons I had to pop. Like right here, there's a balloon I gotta pop. So I need to like squeeze these out. I want to make sure there's no soft latex inside. So I'm gonna have to take my time. And this is the problem with latex. Slowly building it up, slowly painting it in, as opposed to using like dragon skin silicone. But it's getting there. And you can kind of see the wire right here turning and going this way. So yeah, this is going to take a bit of time, but we're on track. We are on track, and it looks so good. So soon we'll get that all together. Soon we'll do both arms. And once again, metal rod. Probably just drop it right there inside that groove, and then maybe paint it over. And then paint the wings on right there. Just paint them on, and hopefully it all sticks together. I like this. Yes. So, let's have some fun. Now that we have him, let's add some color to him. We're going to go with a brown wash. This is once again watercolor paint with some water and some dish soap. So this is meant to go into all the little nooks and crannies, all the little details. And then we're going to wipe it all off. Okay, I only want it on top. Now the film this guy's going to be used in is a black and white film. So the little speckles of paint don't really bother me, because they'll come out as like, I guess, more like liver spots in the end. So that should look fine. Which is also another reason why I'm not like doing fine painting detail, but just sloshing this stuff for lighting purposes. It's going to be high contrast lighting, so I want to make sure that I want to make sure it's good for camera without being too crazy. Fun fact, I don't know if it was the show The Monsters, if it was the Addams Family, might have been both, but apparently because the show was shot in black and white and they wanted high contrast, I think the sets are actually like super colorful, apparently, like pinks and greens, because it helps the contrast for the final shot on camera. Okay, I need a tissue actually. Ooh, stand by. I'm gonna add a bit of water to this as well, just to bring it out a bit more. So I hope everyone's doing well, especially right now. Parts of the U.S. are getting bombarded with freezing cold temperature. My heart goes out to everyone, especially because I feel it here. So I'm in New York, and we've had really windy, like really windy and wind and cold, right? But we haven't had snow, thank goodness. But my apartment, which is a 3-year-old building, I mind you, has not been doing well with heat. They did send an email out to all the residents, letting them know, yes, we know the heater is acting funny, we're working on it, etc., etc. At least they acknowledge it. But this brand new building, and I probably mentioned this before, also does not have really good windows. And I don't know why. It's a brand new freaking building. Like, it's a brand new building. It should not have issues with the windows, but it does. Sadly, it does. So it's just the wind that we've had here in the Bronx, in the Boogie Down Bronx, has just been piercing its way into my apartment, to the point in which I actually had to sleep in my bathroom. Not the bathtub. Essentially what I mean is, the heat's not on, but the bathrooms are still warm. I don't know how that works with the building. I don't know what caused that to happen. But I just freaking stripped a bunch of sofa cushions, laid them out across my bathroom floor. Luckily, my bathroom is, relatively nice in size. And last night, I slept there because I just couldn't stand the cold, man. I do not like the cold. I'm not for that. Born and raised in New York, yes, we get hit with lots of cold. But I am not about that life, man. But my heart goes out to places where it's gone like even worse. I think I actually added too much water. Shoot. Just pull it right there. A little bit of black. Just a little bit of black. As you can tell, this is a messy process, but a fun one nonetheless. There's our boy. Let this dry. Let that sink in for a minute. Let me bring this to the side somewhere. So we'll let that sink in for a bit. Too much water. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it, Dante. Come on. There we go. I've seen the footage of what this will look like with my friend's like high contrast camera. It's gonna look really cool. Hey, how's it going, man? Oh, so I think he's good. I like him. Gonna leave him right there for now. Now, while we're going over some stuff, especially with the latex, let's stick with this. Move. Ugh. By the way, you can't see it, but this whole area is a complete freaking mess. I'm gonna do one more layer of latex on the right arm. on the right wing. The left wing needs to dry. I think once the left wing dries, I think it has one more coat of latex that could be added to it. So this, we're gonna add a bit more to it though. And then once again, also gotta, like I said, I gotta bend the wire to make the new armature for it. Now, when I did the life-size head, the Demon Cop, I think it was like, yeah, that was the one I streamed for like I streamed 3 nights of it, of me sculpting it. That was a slush mold. I poured it in and I rotated the latex back and forth and back and forth. And I don't know what it is. Like, I tried doing like very thin, like slush-like stuff with this. Like, I poured the latex on top, and then I like take a wide spatula and try and spread it back and forth. And it was just too thick. It just doesn't want to dry. So I guess we are sticking with these literal like hand paint. Man, it's going well. Going well. This project's taking longer than I expected, but it will be done on time, which is, you know, by next month. And by next month, I want to get this project done. That's kind of what we're all aiming for. So I would have had, let me see, the bat head, demon cop, and the severed head, which are all props done in latex, sculpted, etc., molded, all the same process. So I'm happy. That's going well. That's kind of like a major project I'm trying to work on right now. Okay, put him right there. Let this air dry on the side. Now let's see. What of this can I paint over? You see that? It's like squeezing a nasty toothpaste container. Trying to get those pockets of latex out. Trying to get those little pockets of soft latex that's sandwiched between 2 clean pieces. You put too much and the outer layer dries, and the rest of it doesn't. But I can paint the wing section. The thick part is the fingers. But I can paint the wings at least. There's a little bit more right there. Ugh, it's like popping a zip or something. Yeah, but I am doing good. How are things going for you? How's the weather treating you where you're at? Let me close this. I don't want to put it to the side and just be like, oh, it's fine, and it falls over. This was about 25, 28 bucks, I forget. Even though it takes longer, even though it's a little messier, it's the bang for your buck. If you know how to use it, it works well. You know, it has its downsides. Like I said, latex is air dry, but it also tends to like kind of it has a shorter lifespan. You know, latex could get issues from temperature and everything. Give me a second. I'm just gonna dry this brush off. I'm gonna try and clean as much of it as I can. Hold on. Be right back. I bought this pack of, these are all just really cheap brushes. I bought a pack of like 5 for like $1.99 or something like that. And the latex goes through them horribly, but I still want to hold on to them for a bit. I got 2 of them. I got 2 of them left, and I still got more stuff to paint. So I want to hold on to them. Yeah. So the antennae here got a little wrinkled, a little screwed up inside the mold. Maybe I should just avoid using, like, I don't know, the cotton is good for filler, but it also, like, it just doesn't dry as quick as you'd expect. Anyway, yeah, so once again, I'm thinking of, I'm going to cut the eyes out, put some glass eyes in there. We could probably replace the teeth or just paint them white. I also want to add a little nail on this right here in the end. Maybe we'll just paint the teeth white. Yep. Give me some more. Maybe if I'm going to use if he's going to be a hand puppet, maybe I should actually like cut a nice circle here. That way I'm not like warping it as I put my hand in. But it does the job well. He wasn't meant to be he wasn't actually meant to be a hand puppet. I was going to have him as a rod puppet, like those kids' toys with like a shark at the end of a stick. But at least with a hand, you got more, a little bit more emotion out of it. So I think it works. It works either way. But yeah, I'll probably cut a nice round piece of that. So that is the wings, and let's stick with the idea of molded monsters, even though we're not doing any molding right now. Let us move forward with something else. A little project I've been meaning to get back to. This is an Oni mask, a fake Oni mask, of course. So, fun story. Ray, the individual who I am working with on this project with the latex monsters, almost a decade ago, kind of semi-commissioned me. Basically it was a bunch of artists with no money working together, and we got together and I did. Let me tilt it for the camera. I did this Oni mask. We took, once again working with Joe, we took a hockey mask that Joe had, like this old school like Jason Voorhees / Casey Jones hockey mask, and I just covered it in plaster of Paris if it's not obvious, and I just kind of sculpted it. The teeth are like sculpey, I think, and the horns were sculpey. Now originally I was going to like restore it to its original. I was going to like resculpt the horn, and I said screw it, we're going to do something new. So I just put some hot glue gun in it, gave it some bleeding area, and I sprayed it. It was originally black and white. I'm gonna go for like vibrant, like crazy colors, maybe reds and yellows. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna just paint this. So let's paint this. I realized for the camera he's at a weird angle. Like he's like a downward angle, so I'm just gonna lift him up for you guys like that. Yeah, we're gonna paint, people. We're gonna have some fun. I was also thinking of getting the wire ready for the second wing, but since we just added a thin layer of latex, let that dry. It's thin layer, so it should dry quickly. And then we'll also bend this wire, and that'll be another step. So, acrylic paint. Yeah, let's go for acrylic paint. I gotta get an actual cup of water for the acrylic paint. I'm thinking yellow, for maybe yellow with red around the edge for the eyes. Really vibrant colors. Green. Maybe once again make the horns black. Give it some green blood here. Yeah. When I realized I can actually bring it down in the camera a bit more. Get this guy back in here too. Yeah, let's do some painting. Stand by. Actually haven't done a straightforward painting in a while. Of anything, pretty much. This would be nice. Let me see. Yellow, I got some nice vibrant red. Got some basic black. My drawer of paints is trying to disconnect from the table and fall to the ground. Don't know why it's doing that, but because of that, it's gonna live on the floor right now. And for our palette, recycled material. Where are my scissors? I'll just use these. Okay. Ah, you hear that? Sound of styrofoam being destroyed. God, what a mess. What an absolute mess on my table next to me. That's what it is. I work on a project and it just builds up and it builds up junk. Such is life. Let's start with the light colors, as I almost yanked my tablet off my table. I have no real plan for this face. We're just gonna go nuts. Shreds of latex. Hold on to it. You'll need it for later on, I guarantee. Oh, I just heard the sound effect the latex made, after the delay on the stream. Oh, that was horrible. So, some of you may remember this project progress sheet. So the head sculpt latex done. Wings have a little bit more latex to do. We have started painting the face, and then those two boxes will be for both of the wings, and this last piece with me gluing it all together. So we're doing good, people. We are on track. Okay. A little bit of water. Let's get into it. I'm just gonna do the whole. Gonna do more than I expect to do to get the yellow. Then I'm gonna line that eventually with red. Yeah, originally this was just like black lips, a black spot, and black around the eyes. Really like straightforward. I believe the idea was for the original script for this was like something along the lines of like a guy's creating a video game for an arcade cabinet, but like the villain of the arcade cabinet is pretty much this Oni mask, and it's one of those things where it's like the creator begins to see his creation in real life, kind of like setup. I'm oversimplifying it. I'm sure there was more to the script, but it's been like a decade since I did this. This was just sitting in the basement all these years. Let me pick it up for a second. That way I could get around the horn. Yeah, if you ever see like traditional Japanese prints, onis of the yokai persuasion are like blue and red usually. Like they're kind of vibrant colors, you know. So why not go for vibrant? What was that? What was the way they censored it for the original Dragon Ball Z? Home for Infinite Losers, which I thought was just funny. And why does Goku go to hell? Of all people, why does Goku go to hell? No, I would not be drawing random Japanese symbols on this. Cause I don't want to, it's like when you see broken English in an anime. I'm not gonna try and make up some fake Japanese symbol. I am kind of thinking of the tattoos / paintings that E Honda has. Once again, I'm sure there's like actual traditional reasoning behind it. I'm just kind of thinking of them as I paint this. Just literally giving an old project a facelift. And once again, it's really cheap paint, so it's not like the most opaque paint you're gonna see. This music is from the lo-fi section of Streamlabs, and I'm digging it. I'm debating what color I actually want to do the horns. I'm thinking just black like I did originally. Like, do red around the highlights of the yellow frame. Like, frame the yellow in red to help it stand out more against the white. But then just do black for the horns. Let's give him kind of like eyelashes. Yeah, I don't want to. I guess I don't want. I'm thinking of. I don't want to cut this off yet until I'm absolutely sure that he's going to be a hand puppet. But he's getting there. He's. I'm liking it. Okay. I don't want to do the red yet because it's yellow. It's not dry yet, and I hate when I'm trying to paint and it just ends up mixing the paint. I don't know how some people they have that steady hand. The paints never mix. Craft Smart, cheap paint, but it does the job. So I'm just gonna go for black. Because if the black mixes with the yellow, that's not the end of the world. Let me get a wide brush. Here we go. I keep seeing these commercials. You know how it is. You search one thing on the internet, and every website you go to just happens to know exactly what you're searching for. It's the commercials for the company that makes. Oop! I just put my hand right into it. The commercials for some European company or something that's like, we're making the blackest of black and the whitest of white, and it's like that insane black material. You probably saw it years ago, like on the internet, where like it absorbs like 98% of like actual color. So like every photograph looks like it's a photo edit. It just looks like someone cut the image out. And at first people thought it was fake because of that. And I just keep sticking my finger in the paint. Anyway. Where's my napkin? Where's my napkin? Like, even when I'm looking at this paint just sitting on the side here, yeah, it's not like the blackest of black paint. You know, it's cheap paint does a job. Trying to debate how high on the lips should I go with the black. Also doesn't help that this isn't the smoothest, you know, it's freaking Pastel Paris. It's not really that smooth, so like even attempting to do a straight line's a bit hard. I can see why I left off last time on the black. Like I gave him like really prominent lips. Ugh, it looks so messy. Cause it's just like it's not as like opaque as it could be. Like this is something that needs like several layers. Like this is something that's gonna need a lot of patience and cleanup. And I don't got patience when I'm painting. And as for the cleanup, like let's use you know I use a really good white paint. Like trying to clean up the edges on this is gonna be a bitch. So this cup, God, I've had this cup since childhood. This cup was part of some random toy I had when I was little. Back in the day of like monster makers and, you know, creepy crawlers. And it was this thing where you would like, it came with a little plastic spine with a peg on it. And you would put a mold around the peg. And then this cup, you would put the mold in the cup. And essentially what you were making was a foam dinosaur skull that you could then poke holes into and kind of make into like your own little dinosaur version of I guess of Miss Potato Head. I don't know what it was, but I remember enjoying it a lot. But you know, it's one of those toys where like once you use it, your parents got to, you know, restock in the material, and if the company's not doing good luck trying to find that material. So anyway, it all got thrown out, you know. But this is the cup from it. The cup, the bottom of the cup is outdented. Like I must have put something in it once that caused it to like swell. So this cup actually has a wobble to it. But I've always used it for years. I don't know why. It's just one freaking plastic cup. I'm gonna tilt this back more. That way you can see it in the camera better. Okay, so we're gonna try and do. I mean, this paint is still super wet, but we're gonna try and do some red. This is Cambium red. Cambium. Shake it up good. Make sure. uh, the truth is, I'm doing all of this aside from just, you know, to tick yet another art project off my list of projects I've been wanting to do, but also to allow our guy here to dry a bit more. Oh god, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do several layers on this. Oh, and I'm in a chair that's not really cohesive. Like I am crouched, I am squatting on a stool just to get this right. It's like when you get a chair that's just a pinch too high, pinch too tall. Okay, I gotta pick this guy up. Okay. It's getting there, right, people? I think it's getting there. Gotta correct that. Here the yellow continues. Here the yellow got cut off. So I gotta fix that somehow. Need to flex for a minute. think I want to really fill up the underside of the eyes here. Get the underside of the brow filled up nice. Not just in outline, but like its own color. There we go. Oh, too much yellow got caught on that. Damn. Once again, we'll clean it up. It's really colorful. What's the term? It's a kabuki mask? Is that the term? Less shiny, more theatrical. I'm not sure if that's the right usage of the word kabuki mask. Maybe just have it go all the way across. Yeah. I'm liking that. Gotta remember to add more water. Adding water to this is definitely, even though it's cheap, water will thin it out where it's not as opaque, but it definitely helps me control it better. I'm liking it. Once again, very theatrical. I'm liking it. Might keep touching the very base of it here. Let me turn this guy around. Ah, fuck. And because of all the little porous areas, that paint sinks right in there. Gotta add a lot of white to cover it up. So once again, it's not my attempt to do an actual like traditional Japanese like oni mask. This is just me doing a oni inspired mask because that's what it was. The original idea was like it's this like if I remember correctly from the original script that this was for, is that it's like a demonic presence that's slowly taking over this kind of freaking arcade cabinet. And the original design was just like a little 2-bit little like, you know, little small sprite monster. Let's see. There you go. Put my finger up the backside of his nose. There we go. Kind of holding it like an actual like art palette. I am just making up the pattern as I go along. Now I have the yellow kind of caress the bottom of the lip here. I'm debating if I should have the yellow go around or have the red go around the lip. You know, I'll leave it like that for now. It's kind of like when someone gets a tattoo, just going up the bottom of the lip. With that said though, let's do a little corrective surgery here. Bit more another layer on the black. It's gonna be such a pain trying to paint like I want to paint the little trickle I did on the broken horn. I want to paint it green, but it's gonna be such a pain. Like I have to like do a layer of white first underneath that. Take these brushes off. I think we'll leave that for now. Let it dry. Then I can really get back in there and fine tune the edges. Put these brushes away before I forget. Also, SmartCraft. Cheap brush. Well, I can't even say that cheap brushes. These brushes are actually pretty good. It was a cheap price. But the brushes are, these are pretty good brushes. They do the job. remember that thin layer I did on the right wing. Almost dry. And as for the left wing, let me give it a little poke. Yeah, the wings are gonna take me like another day or two to like fully dry out. Put this to the side. Put this somewhere. Let me get rid of that paint. Let me get rid of this water. I'm going to spill it. I know I am. Hold on. Okay, put that to the side, let it dry. Don't need that. Okay, so fun fact. This was literally just a block of styrofoam. Sorry, it was a 1-inch long sheet of styrofoam I got from like Michael's before it closed down around me. Now Michael's near me always opens and closes constantly, but I have a nice big block of this. I literally have like a long styrofoam block I bought, a giant piece of styrofoam shaped object that was for like when I bought a TV or whatever, and a like almost 1.5 inches, if not almost 2 inches, I think, of insulation foam, which I just found on the street one day, like a big rectangle slice of it. Anyway, so I take it, I cut 3 squares out of it. Glue the squares together. You can kind of see the seam on it. I glue the squares together with just your basic Elmer's glue, and I put 3 toothpicks to kind of hold it right in there. Did a light drawing of roughly what I figured the inner skull looked like. Speaking of which, oh, don't fall, Dante, don't fall. God, this is the skull I ripped out from inside. I had to like cut him and break him, but I ripped out the skull from inside the mold and I had the clay around it. And I lost the bottom jaw. The bottom jaw broke off. I had to get rid of it. But I still got a top skull. So I could probably just tape him up and use him as an armature again. But anyway, yeah. Did a side piece. And using a, $35 wire cutter. I got, I think at Michael's as well. I love that wire cutter. I always told myself, do I need a wire cutter? Whatever. Bought a wire cutter. It was a cheap one. It does the job. Cut it one way, flipped it, did a line, cut the other way, and then just kind of like shaped some pieces. Took off the top jaw to give it room to get in there, and just kind of slammed it right in there. Never underestimate it. Even a good wire cutter. Never underestimate a cheap wire cutter. They're all pretty good. Yeah. So like I said, once this project's done, I can clean up the insane mess that is all around me. You cannot see it, but it is a mess. Where's my headset? There it is. I am upset, like I said, that this kind of got squished and this kind of got squished, but it still works. Hello. Man. Hey, Oof Matter, do you remember? I'm not sure how you say that word, Oof Matter. But do you remember the Shark puppet? Just old memories among friends of just like that weird Shark puppet we saw in the store once. This latex puppet like this. I'm so proud of this. Look at him. Look at that pretty boy. He's going to get even better when I paint the teeth a little white. You know what? Do I have some white on me? I can make some white now. Let's paint the teeth. Let's paint the teeth white right now. For this, I will use airbrush paint. Dang it, and I went ahead and, once again, I went ahead and put away the water. Give me 1 second, guys. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. There was just a little bit of water left in the cup. So I gotta put him away from the camera for a moment. Even though we're gonna cut the eyes away, I need to paint the eyes as well. That way it shows up a bit better on camera. That's another thing about the latex. Latex, it does take certain paints pretty well, but silicone, only silicone sticks to silicone. So you gotta like mix your paints with a little bit of silicone, and then paint that in and hope that it doesn't like lose the details. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Once again, this is gonna be a black and white film, but just a pinch of color makes it look nice either way. Just adding a little bit of pink and red around like where the skin is pulled back way too much in his face. I'm also trying to wipe some of it off. I don't want to get it. Don't want too much in there. Please forgive me if it's away from the camera too much. No, the mask is just from an old project. The mask is from an old project from like freaking over 10 years ago. And Joseph Tesserman, Clitoris Rex, found it in his basement. I made this mask with some help from him. And I was like, oh wow, you found the mask. And I've been wanting to just, give it a literal facelift. So rather than resculpt the horn, I broke the horn off. I'm gonna add some more layers. So it was for a short film years ago that I don't know if the film ever got finished or what happened to it. But I was asked to do a prop for it, and it was a semi-Japanese Oni mask. And I just wanted to go back and give it a whole nother paint job. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll actually clean up the edges. So just a separate project from this, just to wanna kind of take up some airtime as I let this dry. I've been meaning to work on it anyway. God, I love this guy. He's such a weirdo. Every time I go to clean my brush, I'm reminded of the fact that I desperately need to do some dishes. My sink has too many dishes in it. It is filthy. I know that's a pet peeve for many people. It's a pet peeve for myself as well. I just need to, finish it. So I'm gonna move him right now. Get him out the way. Let this guy drive to the side. Once again, I'll return to him. I want to say, I think that's, what's this freaking, sorry. I want to say that's it. The only really thing I could do that's related to the project right now is, once again, bend a new wire for the wing. That's kind of boring right now. I'm kind of out of it. I want to sit here and try and like fiddle around with that, especially on camera. But a new wire for the second wing. And once again, we'll return back to the wings and build them up over time. I'm debating how much of this, there's like a little wall here for the divot. I'm debating how much of this wall I should cut away. Or if I should just take a knife, cut a groove in there, and then put the metal rod in. Because the metal rod is only going to be about that much to give that a nice structure. I'll probably put some hair on top, spoof it up right here on top. Let me, there we go. I could take, not sure how I will attach it, but I could take one of the teeth I made, one of the resin teeth I have, and use that for his little nail that's supposed to be sticking out on the side. This is meant to be a really sharp nail. Now this looks like a weird growth. I was hoping to save that, but it gave me some issues in the mold. But everything else looks pretty good. I don't know. What do you guys think? Why is it random red paint on him? Stand by. Oh. You know what? I'm just gonna buckle down. I'm gonna cut this excess off. We don't need this. I think as a hand puppet, he works even better. Keep the excess, keep the excess, keep the excess. You never know when you're gonna need it. Now from the inside, I can see the light. And I can see all the weak spots this guy has. There's a number of little weak spots I'm not too proud of. Where latex was just a pinch too thin. I mean, it's still there. It's not, unless you like tear at it, it's not going to rip apart. But I can always dab it from the inside. That's better. With the edges cut off, I can fit my hand in there and it's not stretching the face out too much. When you know to go, put on the Ritz. what I need to do is find something that's almost perfectly eye-shaped, while the back end has a ridge. That way I could like plug it in from the back. It won't like go anywhere. Because these eyes are meant to be bulging out, so they need that, like, almost 2/3 of it has to stick out, and then the final third needs to have a ridge that doesn't fall out. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Alright, guys. I think that's it. I'm happy with this. It's not perfect. It fought me, but we were able to rescue almost the entire mold. Doesn't look exactly as I originally intended, but I think it's gonna be okay. So this plus the wings, a 2-man puppet, one guy controlling the head, and one guy controlling the wings as they flap. They'll flap like this from like here. With your hand in there, that flapping won't really mess the face as much. Make those eyes go. I don't know if before I jump off, I don't know if put in the comments at some point later on, whether it's on YouTube or whatever. Remember those puppets? I think the guy's trying to make a comeback. It was like just a gremlin-like head with these wobbly hands. That's all they were. They were just like this latex puppet, or that just like, my dad used to have one. It was pretty much just a head with like ugly hands, and I forget the name of it, but the guy is trying to make a comeback. It was like a really like maybe 90s kind of thing. Maybe it was like the 90s when they came out. If you know what I'm talking about, please leave a comment about that later on. And I think that's it. That is it. So we're gonna continue off camera with the wings. Hopefully we'll get that done, glued together. And once again, you can see a lot of these images up on my Instagram. But if you want to see like the actual thread specifically about him, of the process in which we went through to get to here, check out my Twitter account. Both of them underneath The Burglar's Art. All my accounts are The Burglar's Art. And once again, also, all the old streams are on YouTube. So you can see the sculpting for him. I think I did sculpting for him on video, I'm not too sure. But I definitely did sculpting for the projects prior to this. All involved in this one major film project. So, yeah, that'll be that. Be safe out there, people. I know right now the season is very cold for many people. I know Texas is getting hammered. There's a few artists I follow in Texas who are not doing so well. So just out there, be safe, stay warm. And that will be that. Once again, guys, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.